I'm useless. They probably need to change driver." Those weren't the words of a struggling rookie or a pay driver having a meltdown. Those were the words of Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion, Ferrari's golden boy, their chosen savior. And what happened next in the Ferrari garage might just define whether this dream partnership becomes a nightmare. Fred Vasseur's response wasn't what anyone expected, and trust me, you need to hear every word of what he just revealed about Hamilton's state of mind. Let's be brutally honest about what happened in Hungary. This wasn't just a bad qualifying session. This was a complete system failure. Hamilton, one of the most successful qualifiers in F1 history, didn't just miss pole position. He was knocked out in quarter 2. No rain, no traffic, no excuses. Just raw, undeniable lack of pace. While Hamilton was sitting in the garage watching the clock tick down on his session, Charles Leclerc, in the exact same car, was out there grabbing Ferrari's first pole position of the season. Think about that for a moment. Same team, same weekend, completely different universes of performance. But here's where it gets really concerning. This isn't an isolated incident anymore. We're seeing a pattern emerge where Hamilton is consistently struggling to extract pace from this Ferrari while his teammate finds speed. The data doesn't lie, and neither do Hamilton's increasingly frustrated radio messages throughout the season. But the real story isn't about one bad qualifying session. It's about what happened immediately after Hamilton stepped out of that car, and the conversation that followed with Vasseur that nobody was supposed to hear. Initially, everyone thought this was just typical post-session frustration. Drivers say things in the heat of the moment, right? Hamilton's always been emotional, passionate about winning. Surely this was just a champion venting after a disappointing result. That theory held water for about 12 hours. Then, the full context of Hamilton's comments started emerging, and suddenly everything looked different. This wasn't just frustration. This was something much deeper. "Hopefully, I will be back," Hamilton said in that post-session interview. Not, "I'll be back stronger" or "we'll bounce back." Just hopefully. That word choice wasn't accidental. Champions like Hamilton don't speak in maybes unless something fundamental has shifted. The timing makes it even more significant. We're not talking about a driver at the end of his career looking for a graceful exit. This is Lewis Hamilton, barely 8 months into what was supposed to be his crowning achievement at Ferrari. The partnership that was meant to be bulletproof was already showing serious cracks. But then Fred Vasseur broke his silence. And what he revealed about Hamilton's mindset changes everything we thought we knew about this situation. Fred Vasseur's response wasn't some sanitized PR statement designed to calm the media storm. It was raw, honest, and revealed more about Ferrari's internal dynamics than anyone expected. Because here's what most people missed. Vasseur didn't just defend Hamilton. He explained him. According to Vasseur, Hamilton's emotional outburst wasn't a sign of weakness or someone ready to quit. It was exactly what Ferrari expected when they signed a 7-time world champion. He's demanding with the car, with the engineers, with the team, with himself, Vasseur explained. That's exactly why Ferrari wanted him in the first place. This is crucial context that completely reframes Hamilton's comments. Ferrari didn't sign Lewis expecting a yes man who would quietly accept whatever car they gave him. They brought in a legend who would push everyone around him to be better, even when, especially when, it hurts. Vasseur went even further, defending the emotional nature of Hamilton's response. He pointed out that if microphones were shoved in athletes' faces immediately after crushing defeats in other sports, you'd hear far worse. These drivers are operating on pure adrenaline and emotion the moment they step out of the cockpit. But here's the most revealing part of Vasseur's response. He didn't sugarcoat the reality. He acknowledged that yes, it's tough for Hamilton to see Leclerc thriving while he struggles. Yes, strategic mistakes like the hard tire strategy have compounded the problem. Yes, the car hasn't suited Hamilton's driving style. But rather than pretending everything was fine, Vasseur leaned into the truth. This is a learning curve, and everyone at Ferrari is working flat out to solve it. What Vasseur revealed next about Hamilton's true state of mind will completely change how you see the rest of this season. This isn't just about managing a difficult weekend anymore. What we're witnessing is a fundamental test of whether Ferrari can handle having a driver who demands excellence at every level. And based on Vasseur's response, they're doubling down on that challenge rather than backing away from it. The stakes couldn't be higher. Ferrari hasn't won a driver's championship since 2007. They brought in Hamilton specifically to end that drought. If this partnership fails, it's not just about 2 more years of disappointment. It's about Ferrari potentially wasting their last realistic shot at championship glory with their most expensive gamble ever. But Vasseur's messaging suggests something different is happening behind the scenes. Instead of panic or damage control, there's a sense that this frustration is part of the process, that these moments of raw honesty from Hamilton aren't cracks in the foundation. They're growing pains in what could become something much more powerful. The upcoming races will be absolutely crucial. The summer break gives Ferrari time to address the fundamental issues Hamilton has raised about the car's handling and strategic approach. But it also gives Hamilton time to either recommit fully to this project or start mentally preparing for a different kind of Ferrari chapter. What makes this situation so fascinating is that both sides seem to understand what's at stake. Hamilton isn't just venting, he's demanding the level of excellence he knows Ferrari is capable of achieving. And Vasseur isn't just managing a crisis, he's showing that Ferrari is willing to weather this storm because they believe the reward is worth the risk. But there's one crucial detail about Hamilton's contract situation that changes everything about how we should interpret these comments. Here's what we still don't know: how much of Hamilton's frustration is about the current car, and how much is about Ferrari's long-term direction. The technical regulations are stable for the next few years, which means if Ferrari can't solve Hamilton's fundamental compatibility issues with their design philosophy, we could be looking at 2 more seasons of this same dynamic. The real test will come at the next race weekend. Will Hamilton arrive with renewed focus and commitment, or will we see more of these emotionally charged moments? Vasseur's response suggests Ferrari is prepared for either scenario, but the championship picture can't afford many more weekends like Hungary. What's particularly intriguing is how this compares to other high-pressure partnerships in Ferrari's history. Champions like Michael Schumacher also had moments of intense frustration during his early Ferrari years. The difference was that those partnerships had time to develop. Hamilton, at this stage of his career, might not have that same luxury. The summer break becomes absolutely critical now, not just for car development, but for relationship management. If Ferrari can show Hamilton tangible progress on the issues he's raised, this could be the turning point where everything clicks. If they can't, we might be witnessing the beginning of the end for one of F1's most anticipated partnerships. So when you see headlines screaming about Hamilton being ready to walk away, or Ferrari regretting their decision, remember what Fred Vasseur actually revealed. This isn't a driver at the end of his rope. This is a champion demanding the excellence that both he and Ferrari know they're capable of achieving. The Hungary weekend might have looked like a crisis, but Vasseur's response suggests it was something else entirely. A moment of brutal honesty that could either destroy this partnership or forge it into something unstoppable. And based on everything we've seen from both Hamilton and Ferrari throughout their careers, betting against them finding a way to make this work might be premature. The real story of Hamilton at Ferrari is just beginning, and trust me, what happens next will define not just the rest of this season, but potentially the entire legacy of one of F1's greatest drivers. What do you think? Is this the beginning of the end, or the moment everything starts to click? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to stay updated on every twist in this Ferrari saga, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because if Hamilton's first year at Ferrari has taught us anything, it's that the most dramatic chapters are still to come.